Dr. Tice, talk to me.
Okay, this is our next to last Occupy. Next week, the 29th, is our last Occupy on this corner before we morph into Move to Amend. So I want to ask everybody out there that's watching this, everybody that's been to an Occupy, to come next weekend. I'd like to have 50 people on this corner, jam-packed. Egberto's going to bring extra donuts to make sure everybody can have breakfast. So please come and bring your significant other, your partner, your spouse, your friends, so that we can really make a statement on the 29th of December.
Hey Cody, you and I shared the same opinion of the La Perrier speech. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the way he reframed the debate. The issue there's a lot of different issues. There's issues of mental health, there's issues of bullying, there's issues of adequate security at the schools, and there are issues of gun control. And instead of addressing all of those issues, he pointed to one issue, and that was the issue of adequate security on school campuses. And basically his argument was that we need to make sure we have a cop on every campus. And I would actually agree with that. The problem is if we live in a society to where depressed 20-year-olds have access to automatic weapons that can shoot 30 bullets without reloading and so forth, and the police officer is standing there with a 6-shooter, what kind of challenge is this police officer to this guy that's planning on shooting up the school? What we need to do is we need to make it to where it's harder for people to get a hold of automatic weapons. You say criminals can get it on the black market if they want to, and that may be true, but we're not talking about criminals. We're talking about depressed 20-year-olds in most of these school shootings, and they don't know how to use the black market. So I've been around guns all my life. I support the right of gun ownership. I support the Second Amendment, but I can go hunting, I can go target practice, I can protect my home without having an automatic weapon, and we need to have limits on that.
Thank you, Cody. Professor Davis, talk to me.
Well, I want to talk about the tragedy in Newtown, and I've got a suggestion. My colleagues have some good ideas about how to curb gun violence. And I'm not being entirely frivolous, but if I had the power, I would enact a Guns for Guitars program. And my inspiration was the story about Elvis. When Elvis was a kid, he had a birthday coming up. He really had his heart set on a .22 rifle, but his mom, Gladys Presley, said, "No, son, I think you ought to have this guitar instead." And so if I had the power, I'd have people trade in their guns. I'd give them a guitar in response. Imagine what it would be like, if there were a road rage incident, people would pull over to the curb, and rather than pulling out their guns and shooting each other, they could pull out their guitars and play at each other. That would be a whole lot better. There'd be a whole lot less bloodletting. And I'm trying to make a serious point in that just the presence of these guns coarsen our society. There's been a lot of talk about how these violent video games do that, and I agree with that point too. We need to just move away from this whole machismo idea that guns are necessary, measure of manhood, that kind of thing. We'd be a lot better off if people just had guitars instead. So that's my proposal, concrete proposal to move us past this insanity.
Thank you very much, Professor.
You're welcome.
Stephanie, talk to me.
Okay, just a quick word about the fiscal cliff. I say let's go over it. Obama's holding the winning hand here, and I hope that he has the courage to not blink when the Republicans are actually trying to undermine democracy by ramming down the throats of the American people what they did not vote for a couple months ago. So anyway, here's wishing Obama won't blink first.
Thank you very much, Steph. Santa Claus, Mark, talk to me.
Ho, ho, ho. I'll be my bag this year. I promise everyone there will not be any guns. The logic fail of the right wing is just absolutely astounding. The ready availability of guns in America leads to tens of thousands of gun deaths every year. And the solution of the right wing is more guns? There's an incredible logic fail.
Thank you very much, Mark.